Hi, I'm Phil Moulton and welcome to another episode of Snowmobiler Television. When we see a long track sled on the back of a trailer or on a sled deck, we tend to think that that person is going high marking. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes those people just want to go into the backcountry and do some exploring. And our test riders, that's the kind of sleds that they're trying out today.
STV is sponsored by YAMAHA, Revs your heart. KIMPEX, fueled by fun. And by Skidoo, never stop pushing.
This year, Polaris has got you covered in the backcountry. And for 2016, they've dug in their heritage, bringing back a classic name, the Snow King Special.
Polaris SKS, they brought back the SKS name, the Snow King Special. It's a more versatile sled than the RMK. It's not dedicated strictly to mountains. You can ride it along the trail for a lot longer distance and still get to your mountain destination. It has idler wheels in place of scratchers, but you can still add scratchers. The suspension is set up a little stiffer than a pure mountain sled. It's made more for boondocking and just going through trees and getting to places where nobody else has ever been. And this SKS name, it's been around many years ago. It was one of Polaris's first longer track sleds, but that was back in the 80s, and the long track then was 137. These ones are now 155, and it's gets you back in the country. It's a lot of fun to ride. It's in the Axis chassis, a new 800 motor. Today it's one of the easiest sleds I've been able to lay on its side and carve lines through the powder. It's just fantastic.
With several decades of experience in getting you around in the backcountry, Skidoo knows how to build a sled with the chassis and the engine that can get you around in the backcountry for a fun day in the powder.
Okay, we got to ride the 2016 Renegade Backcountry X. New for this year is it's moved into the Rev XM chassis, which is what the Summits are based in, and it's been stretched out to a 146 with deep lugs, 16-inch wide track, and it gets T-motion along with the flex edge track. So off trail, this thing is unbelievable. This is way more maneuverable than any other of the previous backcountries. You know, I read some comments when they were released that it's basically just a Summit. It's no longer Renegade. It can't do on and off trail. It's just off. Well, that's actually not true. Off trail, it's so maneuverable and easy to get on its side. I was a little skeptical about the ride back on the trail, but it's actually pretty decent. You know, you can ride this on the trail. It's not a Summit. You can still trail ride it. But it's definitely for your 50-50 rider. If you're serious off trail in deep snow, this is the machine for you. Don't look at the adrenaline. You know, look towards the backcountry. Yeah, it's big improvement, and I think it's going to be a good seller for Skidoo this year.
Skidoo Backcountry X, it goes through the trees a whole lot easier with the T-motion. You can lean it over and pick your line. The 800 E-Tech, same as always. This power is always there. The track with the T-motion, there's two different track options you can get. Today we have the 2-inch lug track, and we're just going pretty much anywhere you want to go, because it's not a whole lot of deep powder, but still we have no issues with traction getting anywhere we want to go. Ergonomics are really good on this sled. Comes with a medium windshield, plenty of protection to get you to your backcountry destination, but not big enough that you're catching it on trees as you're picking your lines. Everything about the sled is working great. I'm glad they put separated the backcountry from the Renegade frame and went to a more serious mountain backcountry type suspension with the longer track.
The combination of an 800 motor with the 141 track in this Arctic Cat chassis has made the M8 141 a real winner when playing in the backcountry.
Today we rode the Arctic Cat M141 with a 2.6-inch power claw track. It's not a full-on mountain sled, but it's a fantastic sled for boondocking, getting in the deep snow, getting off the trail, even Northern Ontario, Quebec. You don't have to be a mountain rider to buy this sled. 141, still fully capable on the trail. You want to put ice scratchers on for the 2.6 track. It has the new front end geometry with the new spindle, which is really allows you to side hill easier in the deep snow without catching on the snow. It also has a new Proclimb 7 skis with deeper keel. Really very aggressive in the deep snow. Lets you turn and get. It's very maneuverable because it's a 141 with the ski package, the suspension geometry changes in the front. It's a very aggressive, fun boondocking sled. Motor is very responsive, easy, quick revving, gets you right on the snow. Gets you the team clutches. Very effective, very good. Longer belt life is expected. Tuning them is simple, lots of parts. Whether you are going to go to the mountains and do your clutching changes, or just stay in the lower elevations and do the boondocking in Midwest, Northern Ontario, Quebec, Newfoundland. It's a great sled all across country.
When it comes to playing in the backcountry, the smoothness of the Yamaha motor along with the smoothness of the Yamaha clutching proves itself to be one way to play around and adventure in the backcountry.
Today I was out on the Yamaha XTX for 2016. Spent quite a bit of time riding this model. You can see it in the background. It's in the Yamaha Racing white and red from the 70s on their motorcycles. And this sled is equipped with the premium shock package. So you get the Fox Evolve shocks on the front suspension and the Fox Float 3s in the skid frame. And it's a 141-inch Cobra track with the Genesis 3-cylinder engine. Tuner 3 skis, new for 2016. It's a very stiffly sprung sled, so it's made for really aggressive riding. Yamaha clutching on this model, and chassis-wise, it's got the cutouts, the big cutouts in the running boards, so a lot great snow evacuation. Great in the deep powder. You get tons of torque on the bottom end, and it's got the high riser with the center grab strap, so you can really do a lot of good side hilling, twisting through the trees, and if you're running out to your favorite playground, you can really blast down the trails. It corners well, so you just have to really play with the air pressure. They're very sensitive to the air pressure setting to get these sleds dialed in. If you've got too much air in it, and I'm talking 1 or 2 psi over what should work for your body weight with all your gear on, you'll find the sled is very difficult, very hard to steer. So you really have to spend a little bit of time at the beginning of the year, experiment, set up the air pressure in the front shocks and in the back, and then once you get it set with the right amount of sag when for the initial ride in, you're going to be real happy with it. So in the snow, I mean, you hit the throttle, it lifts the front end up great, doesn't trench a lot. The Cobra track, of course, gives you that little extra bite over a ripsaw. So yeah, it's really good in the adequate deep snow.
We tend to think of Revelstoke, British Columbia as a place for powder riding, but it's also the spot for some drag racing as well.
It's our second annual Snow-A-Rama Snow Drags. Snow-A-Rama had lost interest over the years, and we're raising money for the BC Lions Society Easter Seal program, so houses, buses, camps. A lot of our community uses these services to travel to Vancouver for surgeries and doctor's appointments. So it had kind of just wasn't exciting anymore. And last year we had some directors and active club members that stood up and took it by the ears, and it's just turned into a great event. So, I mean, we've got twice as many entrants this year racing as last year, and the support from the community was great this year. And yeah, I love it.
Looks like everybody's having fun.
It is fun. It's way too much.
Oh, it's huge. It brings it together. It's first and foremost, we're a club. We're all snowmobilers. We're in this all together, have fun, enjoy ourselves, and get to know each other, the camaraderie. On days when you're up on the mountains, it's hard. We don't actually get to spend a lot of time just chatting with each other and getting to know each other. We're so busy riding and in our helmets and in our zone, whereas events like this, we get to intermingle with each other, get to know each other, check out each other's sleds. This event is for the Snow-A-Rama. We're raising money for the Lions Club, for the Easter Seals House, and we just felt that in past the club has done things like poker runs, which are successful in their own right, but so inclusive. If you don't have a snowmobile, you can't really participate, whereas with this event, if you look around the crowd, we have so many town folk and out-of-towners and people that just want to come and see what it's all about and check out the power and participate, and yeah, it's a great event. Oh, snowmobiling to Revelstoke is almost the lifeblood. We've been very fortunate to have the ski hill come to town, and that's been another economic boost, but snowmobiling is the heart of Revelstoke. It is the one thing that's been bringing people here since snowmobiling started getting popular. I mean, we are blessed with copious amounts of snow, friendly people, lots of hotels, accessible trails. We put in excess of 30,000 snowmobilers a year up our trails. We have close to 1,000 members in our club, making us one of the largest clubs in BC for sure, and we are the oldest club in BC. So, you know, it's a big thing to keep going for our club and our town. The economic driver, absolutely.
Why up here? Well, because we've got the land, we've got the space, and we've got the straight line where we can actually perform it, and it's right next to a popular sledding spot for Frisbee Ridge. And it sort of all fits hand in hand. I mean, people are coming to Frisbee, so, you know, while you're here, you can come and see the drags and that kind of thing. Plus, we're close to Glacier House Resort, so you sort of don't have to go anywhere. Oh, and the backdrop is awesome. Like, you know, it's unfortunate it's a bit cloudy today, but you got Mount Begbie in the background, and you got Glacier House, which is a fantastic looking building in itself. And yeah, just the setting is quite fitting.
I have a snow scoot.
It's pretty fast, isn't it?
Well, my dad always says to pin it to win it, so I do that and I win.
Each winter, I get to travel to Revelstoke, British Columbia with Cale Edworthy, where he wraps an entire fleet of sleds. He's also involved in this year's KIMPEX Refresh My Ride, and today he's going to wrap Brandon's Vector.
Yeah, what we do out west in BC is a little bit different than a personal sled because it is representing the company's brand. So usually what we're given in terms of material or artwork for creating that kind of thing, we have a look at what they've used in their branding, whether it's You know, obviously we get their logo, artwork. You've got their company colors you have to respect and use. People come to us for our certain style that we use. Like I said, we have a tendency to make things look different, well designed, still respecting the brand, and just something that might have been used on the brand, but just different. So most of our clients look for that. Yeah, Brandon, he mentioned to me that he wanted to go with a kind of a color neutral theme. So we used white, black, grays, which, you know, kind of, the sled was black to begin with, so that made it fairly easy. Knowing that he liked or was into the motocross side of things, I actually kind of revisited a design that we'd used out west a couple of years ago that was based for KTM. And apparently Brandon actually rides KTM, so it's kind of, it was a good fit. Back a few years ago, we mimicked, again, same thing with the brand, we mimicked a design that they had created for the motocross team that year. And it fit the sled really well, looked pretty awesome on the Skidoo mountain sled. And I just liked the way it looked. It's a little bit edgy, but it's still conservative. It's not over the top. And it wasn't hard to make it fit this sled just because of the lines on it. So yeah, we took that. Also, because he is a racer, he had his race number. So we incorporated the race number into the design, but basically kept it pretty simple. We've specifically used 3M films, and they have come up with a number of, they're called 1080 films, and they're used for detailing or wrapping cars. You can do color change. A lot of guys with tuner cars will wrap their hoods in carbon fiber, that kind of thing. So we have access to all of those films. On this sled, we ran into a couple areas that we couldn't really wrap, we didn't have a template for. So, and you know, because it's an older sled, they were looking a little worn and a little weathered. So I decided to use just some carbon fiber accents. So we've got carbon fiber we used on the hood in the center, just below the headlights. And then we also, on the tailpipe covers back behind the seat, we also threw some white carbon fiber in there. It's a subtle touch, but I think it kind of completes the look.
Staying warm, it starts at the feet, ends with the hands. Jeremy, what are we looking at for new boots right through to gloves for this year?
Well, Phil, basically what we got here is a new boot from KIMPEX in our CKX lineup. And essentially what it is an EVA foam integrated with a rubber sole. And essentially it's got a Primaloft foam insert liner. Now it's incredibly light. It's got a great grip with a pattern that allows for, you know, grip on your running boards, your snowmobile and that sort of stuff, walking around out in the snow. Lightweightness is one of the key features of this product, and ultra warm. Yeah,
anybody who switched to a lighter boot just can't believe how much lighter they are in the deep snow and stuff. It's so much better.
You got it. It makes for, you know, a lot nicer, more enjoyable day, and you feel a lot more rested at the end of the day of riding.
And we move through the boots, we go up through the outer layers and to the gloves.
When you get into your layers, we've got a mid layer, which is essentially Primaloft insulation value. So it can be used as a mid layer if you're doing a full base layer, mid layer system, or if you got a jacket similar to this trail jacket, it's essentially an extra added warmth that you can wear underneath.
And everybody rides in a different area, so some places you know you're going to see -30. Other people, they don't see much below -5, so you really have to get the clothing for your climate, if I'm correct.
You got it. And I mean, often what we see riders doing is they're bringing this along packed in a backpack, and if they run into some, you know, incredible cold conditions, what they'll do is they'll add that layer in, you know, somehow throughout the ride.
And we also see that with the gloves. They're not only going with really warm gloves, but they're also going with a backup plan.
Hand muffs in conjunction with gloves make for a great added warmth feature when you're out in those extreme cold weather days. We've got this new product that's available on the market, which has a neoprene type liner, which seals well around your glove. It's got a visibility screen, which basically allows you to see your controls and know what you're doing while you're snowmobiling. With all the added accessories on snowmobiles today, it's a great feature. And they're a quick on and off type situation.
Right, there's a couple nice things too. You can see through this, so you can actually see your hand controls. And also, there are some days where it doesn't seem to matter how warm you are, your hand's out in the open wind, you just need that extra bit of protection to take that sting off. It just makes such a difference.
When it comes to gloves, KIMPEX offers a full line from textile gloves to leather gloves. Each one of them having certain features that allow for different ride comfort and feel. In the textile glove, you've got a lightweight glove. It's got a Thinsulate with 100 grams, some reinforced palms, a fairly good grip. You know, the stitching's kind of wrapped around your tip of your fingers, and it also comes with a wiper to clear off that lens from snow dust. In the leather side of things, we've got the Total Grip series, and the Total Grip series is essentially a little more heavy-duty kind of glove. It allows for a very tacky grip feel and some extra padding and protection on the top of your hands and added warmth. Again, with the Hypora lining, which becomes basically a breathable product and allows for some wicking effect to happen while you're wearing these gloves. And again, it also has the visor sweep.
Over the years, I've used a lot of different combinations, a lot of different types of gloves. And Jeremy, thanks for the lesson on staying warm from the boots through the mid layers to the gloves. Where can we find out more information?
You know, check us out online, or head into your local dealer and see what they've got of the KIMPEX product offering.
STV is sponsored by Ultimax belts, performance proven, performance driven. Triton trailers, the difference is in the details. And by CKX, wear your passion.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. On next week's show, we're going behind the scenes to introduce you to our test riders, and you're going to learn a little bit more about why they are part of our test riding team. Remember, you can always follow us on Twitter and Facebook, as well on our web pages. And you can email me directly, phil@snowmobilertv.com. We'll see you next week here on The Snow.